What if I told you the most terrifying player in baseball right now isn't Judge, Soto, or Acuna? Nope, it's a 23-year-old kid from Sherman Oaks who's quietly rewriting what it means to be a complete player.
Strong. Pete Crow-Armstrong.
A guy who, without the hype and without the commercials and headlines, has already hit 15 home runs, stolen 20 bags, and played every single inning for the Cubs this season.
Pete Crow-Armstrong at the plate now. Armstrong with a drive to right center, and that one is long gone.
In the air, right center field. Freeland back at the wall.
He's a man of many names. If you're on Cubs Twitter, they call him PCA. But for many of you, his name is Pete Crow-Armstrong, the one and only. By the time we're done here, you'll see what diehard Cubs fans have been screaming for months. This kid isn't just good, he's dangerous. And the scariest part, he's only getting started.
3-2. That is hammered down the line.
Pete Crow-Armstrong isn't your typical rising star. He didn't come with massive hype or viral home run clips like the top youngsters did. He came up with grit and a glove that made scouts stare. Born March 25, 2002 in Sherman Oaks, California, PCA grew up in a pretty unusual baseball household. If you've watched the movie Little Big League, then you've seen his mom in action. She's an actress. His dad, Matthew John Armstrong, is also an actor. But Pete, well, he didn't want Hollywood. He wanted Wrigley, and thank God he did. Imagine this guy on a movie set and not on the pitch swinging bats with that rocket of an arm.
That's hammered. Fair ball, base hit towards the corner. That'll score Dansby. PCA on the move. Watch him run. That's what I'm talking about. Swing it.
PCA made his name at Harvard-Westlake, a school known for pumping out MLB talent, and got drafted 19th overall by the Mets in 2020. But the one moment I'm sure Cubs fans will forever cherish was in 2021, when the Mets decided to ship him off for Baez and Trevor Williams. Honestly, looking back at that trade now, you gotta admit it's one of the biggest trade wins in recent Cubs history. PCA didn't say much in interviews. He just worked real hard. And by the time he got to the big leagues in September 2023, the whispers had already started. I've genuinely never been this excited about any other baseball player. One diehard Cubs fan posted on Reddit. Another posted, "The guy's name is Pete Crow-Armstrong. Who didn't see this coming?" And honestly, those fans aren't too far off. PCA's got that unassuming baby face, but once the game starts, he turns into a straight-up problem.
In the air, softly hit. Left Armstrong coming on. He'll throw to third. Tag!
Before PCA's bat started lighting up scoreboards, his glove was already turning heads. In fact, let's just call it what it is. This guy's arguably the best defensive center fielder in the game right now. Yeah, we're taking the hype to that level. I know non-Cubs fans are probably thinking, "Oh, this guy's crazy." Well, maybe you're right, but just walk with me through the numbers. PCA leads all MLB center fielders in outs above average and fielding run value this season. His 50-plus RBIs are the second most in baseball, while his 21 stolen bases are the second most among NL outfielders. But that's not all. His 15 homers through Sunday are the second most among NL outfielders. And get this, PCA's FRV ranks top 25 among all outfielders since 2018. Do you know where PCA was in 2018? High school.
Center field, Pete Crow-Armstrong.
Now, you see, that's not just a stat. That's a warning. All you gotta do is watch him for one inning and it's gonna hit you. This guy doesn't just chase the ball, he knows where it's going. His first step is elite, and his closing speed is downright surgical. And he turns near impossible catches into routine outs like he's farming highlight reels for fun. One fan put it best, "He moves like he's reading the future." Another tweeted, "He's the fastest guy in baseball, end of story." But wait, is he really the fastest? I think that's debatable, but there's no doubt that guy runs rockets. Whatever qualities you think a center fielder should have, PCA's got it in spades. You want range? You want mind-blowing full extension catches at the wall? You want a center fielder who makes pitchers breathe easier just by standing in the grass? Well, that's Pete Crow-Armstrong. If you gave him a blindfold, he'd probably still rob a double off the bat. And the scary part is, he's not doing this once in a while. He does it every night.
Fly ball to right, hit pretty well. Pete Crow-Armstrong has another. It's his second tonight. And the Cubs are up 10-0. That Brewer fan does.
You know, for a while, Pete Crow-Armstrong was just the defensive guy. Cubs fans loved his glove, no doubt. For the rest of the league, they weren't paying attention because his bat didn't scare anybody. And honestly, that bat wasn't it at the time. In 2024, he hit .237 with 10 home runs in 123 games. Solid, maybe even respectable, but definitely not enough to make him a fixture on national highlight reels. Now, fast forward to 2025, he's not just hitting, he's exploding. As of June 4th, PCA is batting .281 with 15 home runs, 51 RBIs, 21 stolen bases, and a blistering .880 OPS. And we're not even halfway through the season. Oh, and in case you missed it, he became just the 4th fastest player in modern MLB history to hit 15 homers and steal 20 bases in a team's first 60 games. That's a club that includes guys like Bo Jackson and Reggie Sanders. Not bad for someone people used to call a defense-first guy. One fan posted under one of his videos saying, "I call him Edgar Allan Crow, because when he's on the field, it's poetry in motion." Now that's a fan who knows their onions. Indeed, when Pete Crow-Armstrong is on that field, it's poetry in motion. Remember that May 16th game against the White Sox? The one where he launched a 3-run homer and racked up a career-high 6 RBIs? Just tell me he didn't look like he was on a mission. That wasn't just a big game, that was a declaration. PCA isn't here to be a defensive specialist anymore. He's here to dominate both sides of the game. And if pitchers weren't worried before, they sure as hell are now. You know who else has been showing up every single night for the Cubs this season? Pete freaking Crow-Armstrong. As of May 29th, PCA has played every single inning of the Cubs' first 56 games. That's 502 2/3 innings of non-stop baseball. No rest days, no innings off, no load management. And this isn't a DH we're talking about. This is a center fielder, a position that demands constant hustle, reads, and high-speed sprints into brick walls. Now, I'll let that sink in for a minute. Just take a moment and think about it. We've got all-stars around the league getting pulled in the 7th to stay fresh. And meanwhile, PCA's out here running wind sprints from gap to gap like it's Game 7 every night. A Cubs fan on Twitter probably said it best. He doesn't just play hard, he plays like his rent is due. But you know the wildest part about PCA playing every game? Dude still looks fresh. No drop-off, no signs of fatigue. He shows up, locks in, and gives the Cubs everything he's got, night in and night out. That kind of grind, well, that's just not normal. That's next level. And it tells you something scary. PCA isn't just explosive, he's dependable. And that might be what makes him truly elite. So here's the question every Cubs fan has been asking all season. Why is nobody talking about Pete Crow-Armstrong? At least, not as much as they're talking about the other guys. This guy's putting up historic numbers, playing elite defense, and showing Iron Man level durability. And yet, the hype is not blowing off the roof. Turn on MLB Network, it's Judge this, Soto that. Scroll through ESPN's Instagram, it's Trout homers, Ohtani pitching highlights, or maybe a mic'd up moment with Mookie Betts. They do talk about PCA, don't get me wrong, but it's not nearly enough. One Redditor vented saying, "This dude is doing impossible things with his pace, and nobody's even making noise about it. You just gotta love PCA." For real though, what more does he have to do? Hit a walk-off while doing backflips? Field a grounder blindfolded with a slice of deep dish in the other hand? Maybe it's cause he's not flashy off the field. Maybe it's because he's playing in Chicago during a weird transition year. Or maybe, just maybe, it's because he's still writing his story. But the truth is, a lot of people in the league are still sleeping on a guy who's already producing like an MVP and is only 23.
Here near center field. That'll fall free. Has knocked in 2 more. It's a 4-hit day.
PCA might not be your favorite cup of coffee, but for Cubs fans, dude is everything, and they're loving every minute of it. They know that the longer PCA flies under the radar, the nastier the wake-up call is going to be.
Good hit. Back some more. Near the wall. Oh, did he make?
Alright, you've seen the stats, you've seen the highlights, you've heard the fan reactions. So what's the scary truth about PCA? It's simple. He's just getting started. He's only 23 and he's already playing Gold Glove defense. He's already hit 15 bombs, swiped 20 plus bags, and posted an OPS pushing 900. And the craziest thing of all, he's playing every inning, carrying the Cubs on his back like it's nothing. And don't forget, he's doing all this with barely a full season of big league experience under his belt.
Pete, Connor Joe at the wall. It is gone.
If PCA's current numbers hold, we're looking at a legit 30-40 season with elite defense from center field. I mean, that's all-star stuff. That's franchise cornerstone stuff. The scary truth isn't just that PCA is great now. It's that this might be the worst version of him we'll ever see. Give him time, give him experience, give him another offseason to bulk up, to study pitchers, to evolve, and we're not just talking about a Cubs fan favorite anymore. We're talking MVP ballots. One fan nailed it on YouTube, saying he's the definition of a 5-tool athlete. The Cubs have a special player. Indeed they do, and they know they do. The Cubs are feeling pretty lucky right now. So the prime question is, are we witnessing the birth of the next Cubs legend? Because everything about Pete Crow-Armstrong screams superstar in the making. The glove, already elite. The bat, heating up faster than a Wrigley Field hot dog in July. And the grind, well, that's the part that sets him apart. He's not asking for the spotlight, he's just playing like he owns it. I mean, one fan said it perfectly. He's PCA now, but if this keeps up, we might start calling him MVPCA. So it begs the question, why aren't we talking about him more? If you've been sleeping on Pete Crow-Armstrong, well, now's the time to wake up, because the league sure will sooner than later. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Is PCA the most underrated breakout of the season? Will he finish 2025 as an all-star? And how long until he's one of the names in baseball? Smash that like button if you're a believer, and hit subscribe so you don't miss the next future legend flying under the radar. Trust me, this won't be the last time we talk about Pete Crow-Armstrong.